Welcome back. So let's get right into that conversation. And the Managing Director of the Nigeria Railway Corporation, Dr. Kayode Okpeifa, joins us now this morning. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the morning brief.
Yeah, good morning.
Well, it's really sad that we've lost 3 people in that Warri Takwe train derailment incident. And we've seen that, the corporation has begun investigations into that incident. We saw you yesterday talking about, cranes and orders are being made. But more importantly, getting to the root of this one too many derailments that we're seeing. What is the outcome of preliminary findings from your investigation on what may be responsible for this round of derailment?
Good morning. Thank you very much. And let me start by expressing my personal and the corporate condolence on the loss of 5 lives and several injuries to our passengers. And at the same time, use this opportunity to once again thank the various first responders and the sterling performances, especially the Delta State government for quickly deploying all necessary agencies to the site, the Kogi State government for their support as well, the NEMA, Inspector General of Police and the Delta State Police Command, the Civil Defense, Federal Road Safety Corps, and the ICA Northeast and ICA South local government chairmen and their resources. I also want to commend the effort of Senator Audit and that of the former Secretary to Government who assisted in ensuring that the first responders are mobilized. They were not on the train, but they supported us. Now, on the issue of the incidents, like you described, it is one accident, too many, and not wanted. And what we are doing right now, we have concluded the passenger rescue, and we have commenced the issue of investigation. Yesterday, measurements were taken by our team, NRC, and that of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Pro. And it is our own findings should, in the next few days, be ready. At least it will be preliminary to have an idea based on what people are saying. Then a more detailed report will come from the NSIB, who also got to site yesterday morning. They concluded their preliminary measurements sometimes in the afternoon, and it is after that the recovery process comes. Or what are the preliminary findings? What we could say is that 482 people were on board, 442 passengers, 40 crew, third-party people, and security, and that of all the rolling stocks, 4 of the coaches were affected. The 2 engines were not affected. The one of the coaches too not affected. Sorry, 2 of the coaches were not affected, and that there were derailment and capsizing. That's why the accident is a very serious one, because ordinarily we should just have a derailment standing, and that will give you no or less injury. We have some coaches that capsized, and we also have damages to the track as a result of the track of the equipment that moved. So the cranes are on ground, and recovery commenced yesterday. On the preliminary findings, to be specific, to be speculative, because NSIB is involved, we have to keep talking with them. So maybe by tomorrow afternoon, we may start having some ideas of what could be preliminary. So I want to appeal that This is one that involves death of Nigerians, and including an infant. So we have to be very cautious. But we will definitely make a statement tomorrow after clarification from Nigeria Safety Investigation Bureau, which is a new organization by government to handle all transport sector related incidences and accidents.
Now, before the ship sails on this particular aspect of the conversation, we were talking about it yesterday, hours after the incident occurred, and the usual suspects would have been faulty tracks. And if we recall the NSIB report on the Asham train derailment last year, those were the suspects, lack of training, unserviceable switches, poor sweepers. Are you ruling out the possibility that this could be part of the problem, or is there human error involved in this?
Yeah, thank you very much. All that you have mentioned are always suspects when you have a train incidents, including human error. So we will be looking at all. The NSIB too will be looking at all. Like I said, it's always when you have a high level. This is a high level investigation. It's going to be a little bit higher level than that of Asham, because we have casual fatalities. So I think all are suspects. All are suspects in this case. I saw the trajectory positioning of the equipment, the rolling stock, and it looks close to what you see in Asham. And so I'm not an expert in investigation activities, but the experts are there, and want to believe they are better positioned to quickly. This one we have to come up faster than we did with Asham, because we have fatalities. Right now, I want to focus on getting all those in the hospitals safely out of the hospital, and make sure that people who have loved ones deceased have access to them, so that they can do what is the needful with rest.
It's a really sad one, because for a while now, people have said, let's try the trains, whether you're doing Lagos to Ibadan or for that corridor. In fact, I remember when it was closed, there was a lot of clamor that let's have Warri Takpe back. We need this. It's very important. And seeing this happening right now, after we'd had another incident, which of course didn't go awry much earlier, it's really sad to see. And I mean, there are at least 5 reasons why a train will derail. It's either, from the tracks, whether they're faulty, they're being vandalized, or it's the train itself. Perhaps the train is old, not well serviced. It could be the wheels or what have you, or the human behind the wheels, right? Either the human oversped, they didn't watch out for signs and all of that. There's a 4th one, which could be overloading, and I don't know if that's even a thing here, but we've seen other climes where there's people inside the coach and on top of the coach, right? Or the 5th one, which is weather conditions, and this one is external. And I wonder which one it's pointing to likely for you.
I wouldn't want to go into anything now, even if I have some thinking. It's better. They just took measurements yesterday. We took visuals, we took pictures, we did how do I call it? We do discussions with people on board. We hear some people say they feel some shaking or whatever. So let us wait. But one thing I know is that train was not overloaded. Personally, from Sunday after Salah, we've been having issues with surge. Sometimes over 100, 200 people will come to these train stations and will not be able to pick them because there is not enough space to pick everybody. Now that corridor is one corridor that we have been paying attention to in recent time in terms of patronage. And the patronage is huge. People come as far as Abuja to Itakpe to take that train, and they go as far as Bayelsa, Rivers State, Delta State, Edo State as destination to and fro. So, but I can tell you, I have videos I can send you. Videos sent to me as early as that day. We get video pictures of what do you call it, of our coaches on a daily basis with time and the stamp. I can tell you that is not there. So all the other things you mentioned could be, and we will not leave anyone out. We will investigate all. And I also must also at this point say that while we thought we are getting out of this equipment, engine, track, and the rest, yes, that track is 40 years old, was rehabilitated 10 years ago, and then it was meant for cargo, but repurposed for passenger and cargo. And just recently, we have a PPP interest in moving every cargo along that corridor. They just completed their own assessment too. So we also look at their own report to see if they see anything. And this is a multinational that is interested in running cargo, moving minerals and whatever. It is also that section of a track that was used to move the pipes that were used for the AKK pipeline project construction. So it is very key. It links Kogi State through Edo State to Delta State and the entire South. And it is, for now, apart from the Abuja-Kaduna, the only link, the other link that is serving the people from Abuja and the Federal Capital Territory. So we will do everything possible. I think this is one incident too many. I thought we were almost getting out of this, but this is a very, very serious one. And God's will will get out of it.
As we need to wind up, Mr. Kweifo, my only question will be, how alarmed is the NRC about this incident? Because after air travel, I want to believe that rail travel should be the safest. And given the realities we're dealing with in terms of road and kidnapping and national insecurity, this should be the natural alternative to persons who can't afford air tickets to fly to their destination, either for business, leisure, or whatever it is that they are going for. So how alarmed is the NRC and the federal government about this? Because that would impact on the measures being taken.
Let me tell you, we are not just alarmed. We are worried that after putting in so much, should this happen? After putting in so many standard operating procedures, we training them on why standards and consistency is critical. After doing a serious repair works on the tracks, after working so hard to make sure we have more coaches. In fact, we are planning by the end of this week. We have just completed arrangement to add 2 more coaches. That is additional 170 passengers onto that corridor. And all this happens. And you know what it's going to cost to the families who lost loved ones, then to the corporation, and then to the entire mobility sector. That the people in that corridor, the people who use these trains, they don't want to go on the road. They don't want to go on the road. And even when we have incidences and we have to tell them, we will get them, they will just tell us. I watched some of the clips from your presentation yesterday, where they were saying they just don't have an alternative. So it's painful, but we get over it.
As we begin to wind down now, it can't be missed that you acknowledge the possibility that those usual suspects cannot be ruled out as you continue your investigation. So as a follow-up, I'd like to ask if you have operational challenges with some of these things required to ensure that train operations run smoothly. Operational challenges being funding allocation to the NRC. Is the NRC self-sufficient based on the revenue that is being returned? Help us understand if there are any operational challenges relating to funding or any other aspect.
Thank you very much. Let me say with all humility that personally, I don't see challenges in anything I get involved in. I see opportunity to make a difference, and I see opportunity to solve problems. So if there is anything in terms of philosophy that we have been putting into the new management of the corporation, is for our staff, our personnel, to start looking beyond challenges and problems to face solutions and opportunities to make a difference. With regards to state of funding and whatever, believe me, worldwide, train operations is very expensive, capital intensive, low return on investment in terms of direct, but a huge potential for improved GDP, standard of living, amenities, and a good rate of return to many people who use it. In our own case, we are working and we are still within the African level of issues. And for us, this issue, I don't believe, has to do with funding or whatever. You have mentioned the critical 5 or so. They are regular. The trains are well maintained. The equipments are well maintained. In this case, the track is okay, I can say. But when you have an accident, you don't rule out any suspect. So I don't want us to start being speculative, and then, but definitely channels and your other very supportive colleagues will be briefed. There is ongoing a transect study of that track to see if it is a track issue. There is also what do you call it? People's comments on what they feel while on the train. The drivers, the monitors, and everything have been taken. This one is going to be a serious investigation because we thought we have crossed the goal. Now, going to people's experience, believe me, on the Lagos-Ibadan, it's a different thing entirely. Everything is moving as expected. People are going on the train for entertainment, tourism, and experiences. And we are just planning and thinking how we can extend this to other corridors. But this happened. So we want to assure our regular users, yes, accidents do occur. We don't want it to. And that our trains remains the safest options of the land transport. And we will continue to do what we need to do. I just want to pray, and I just want to assure that we will do everything to make sure those who are using our trains, their experience continue to be better. We are seeing a surge in adoption, and we don't want people to think otherwise, especially for those who are using it for their daily lives, their businesses, and for their experiences.
Well, quickly, I just want to refer to the statement that was earlier released by the Federal Ministry of Transportation Permanent Secretary. And in that statement, it looked like there was a major gaffe that said other notable individuals on board the train included the senator representing Delta Central Senatorial District, Senator Ede Dafinoni, and former Delta State Secretary, or SSG now, Honorable Patrick Uka, among others. And that sort of sent shockwaves. What exactly happened? How did that come out? I know it's been retracted, but what happened with information management that we had that?
The statement never said they were on board. But in the, there was a particular paragraph that a sentence was placed below a statement, and that created an impression that, which is normal, that sentence arose from the one before it. But the truth of the matter is that it has been corrected, retracted, and it was wrongly released initially. It was wrongly released. It was under editing, at the time it was released. They were not on board. They were actual two individuals who played the most significant individual role. They were the one that assisted with the linking to the Delta state government and major first responder in Delta. Part of our protocol says contact people of net worth that get you what you want within a phone call. And we got across to Senator Dafinone, who immediately contacted the state governor. We got across to Honorable Patrick, who immediately contacted the Commissioner for Health and some security perspective. So they were not on the train. They were not even at the venue. But what they did with their phone, with their contact, was fantastic, was unprecedented. We have seen similar things done to us by people in Kogi, the Secretary to the government of Kogi, the local government chairman, where we have Itakwe stations, and the DSS. So in this case, you see, we regret it. We have retracted it, and we apologize to these two individuals for whatever it might have caused them. And we want to plead that with media houses, sometimes when they see this kind of thing, they always get a clarification. I didn't know until I got a call from one of them, and immediately we did all we could do as yesterday. We want to apologize to them once again, and we'll make another statement. We made one yesterday, and I will keep doing these statements continuously until we're able to reach out to all those who have. We've also gone on the social media where these things are being discussed to contribute to it that it never happened. Senator Dafinone remains one of the biggest legislative supporters of Nigeria. He writes to us on issues on this corridor. He was even the one who took this matter to the National Assembly in the first place, sometimes I think November 2nd or 4th or so, 2025. So he remains one of our most prized individuals. And for Honorable Patrick, believe me, this man has been helping with the security of the track. He's the one who is giving us all the links we need to get to Delta, and he has done wonderfully well. We want to say we regret whatever that embarrassment they might have received. I want to appeal to the whole to spread that we regret it.
So as we await the report of the investigation, you did say that the Warri Itakpe route is about 40 years old. It was last maintained 10 years ago, I believe, if I heard you correctly. But we do see...
Sorry, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
But you said it's 40 years old?
It was constructed 40 years ago. That's not too old. That's not too old.
Okay.
It was rehabilitated 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
So that brought it back to life. And those are the two statements I said. I never said it was last maintained. Just, you will recall that there was a time we shut it down for 60 days to correct some issues, broken rails and the rest. I just used those years of to put in context what we are talking about.
I recall that to ask when last an audit was carried out on the Abuja, Kaduna and the Warri Itakpe route, because it seems as if the derailments that we often experience are on these routes.
Okay, let me say this. There is a planned track safety audit for 2026. The moment I resume in January 2025, based on my experience from working in Lagos State and Federal Capital Territory for a transport sector, the first thing that you want to have documented is the route and equipment safety audit. So we planned one for 2026, and I believe we are still on track to get that done. The next thing you start doing immediately is to do the transect study. That is, you do like a walkthrough through the track. We have done for both tracks. And for this one, it might interest you to know that at some time we have to run double equipment to move from one point to the other, so that we make sure that there is no vandalization. These tracks, the two tracks you mentioned, are not in the outskirts of the town. They are very, very far away, and they are right inside bushes. This one traverses rocky environment and bush, and It's not it's not an area where people readily reside, especially towards the Itape, Najakuta side. So the road safety audit definitely for every mobility sector, for example, for rail, should be done every 5 years. So we are proposed to do one this year.
Well, the location of the tracks shouldn't rule out, in the light of the circumstances, a track safety audit, or borrowing your words. And, this is time to commiserate again with the families of those 5. Initially, what we had was 4.
Don't let us, I just want to, let me appeal that we stop, we try to stay away from this speculation. So we have equipments, you have track, you have human, you have weather, you have mechanical issue. There could be so many, and in train accidents and incidences, most oftentimes not one thing will be responsible. It's always multiple of things from 2. One will be primary, the others will be secondary.
All right.
So we want to.
Well, we were about to wrap up, Dr. Okpeifa, but we get your point that, all possibilities cannot be ruled out. And it's exactly the reason that, I also brought in that particular aspect of the conversation as well. Dr. Kadi Okpeifa is the Managing Director, Nigeria Railway Corporation. Thank you for coming on the program to explain these things. And we, again, commiserate with the families of those who have lost loved ones in the Warri Itakwe rail incident.